It's now my very great pleasure to introduce you to the wonderful director who has been on this stage quite a few times now, with films like Juno and Up in the Air, and was here last year for the festival with Labor Day. Will you please join me in welcoming director Jason Reitman?
So just start talking?
You do your thing. We know you can.
First, I'm going to embarrass somebody. There's somebody in the audience who the last thing in the world wants to be introduced. He's the composer of this film, and he's British. And I heard his music for the first time in yoga class. It's a very Los Angeles story. I was in yoga. I was listening to songs. This is really good. And I went to the yoga teacher after, and I said, "Who is that?" And she said, "It's Bibio." And I went up and I looked up Bibio, and he had a lot of great music. And I reached out to him, and I showed him the film. And I am so thrilled that he agreed to do this film, because he created a score unlike anything I've ever had in a movie, and frankly, unlike anything I've ever seen in a movie. So, Stephen, I have no idea where you are, but please stand up. Where are you? There he is. That made my night. I'm good. All right, let me introduce you to the people that you'd rather see than me. First of all, I'm going to introduce you to my partner in crime, my producer, Helen Estabrook, who is also the producer of Whiplash. Whiplash, which plays in a few days and is an exceptional film. You have to see that. We made a movie about the internet. It's a tricky thing to make a movie about the internet. It brings up a lot of questions about what is good and what is bad about social media and what it's like to be online in this moment, what it's like to be in love in the age of the internet. And we needed two actors who could represent what it was like to still be young and in love in the truest and most innocent form of the word. And we could not have found two better actors than Kaitlyn and Ansel Elgort.
Hello.
We just keep backing up.
I love this. I like
Not
this.
into the screen, watch the
this
screen.
dress.
Yeah.
Jason, can I start by asking you, I think this does not give away any spoilers about the film, because it has one of the most wonderful trailers I've seen in recent time, and I think many people here would be familiar with it. You've done something quite extraordinary with this film. You've actually directed the action on one plane, and you've also made a very visible presence for social media on another plane. How did you juggle as a director, kind of balancing the human drama with the, with the drama on social media, as it were?
Well, as we approached making a movie about people who are using their phones and their tablets and all their devices, we realized it's a very hard thing to make a movie about people in 2014. Because if you really show them in their real lives, 3/4 of the movie would be people just doing this, which is not very cinematic. Not to mention, people don't have conversations with each other. So I started to work with Gareth Smith, who actually did all the opening titles of my films, and we started coming up with a way to constantly feature what was on people's devices on the film plane. We basically thought of the film image as the desktop image of your computer screen, so that icons, tabs, windows, anything could float over it. But what that meant was that we had to compose every shot in advance so we could create negative space around the actors so that their internet life could take place around them.
And was that, I mean, you're yet to discover one of the great pleasures of this film is the fact that you have this kind of double action going on in parallel. And how did you actually think about the scripting, if you like, of the social media versus the scripting of the action?
This movie was co-adapted by Aaron Cresta Wilson and I from a great book that had great insight into what it's like to be online right now. So Chad Culkin, the author of the book, had really laid it all out there for us. And from there, we had to create the world of the internet as though it was a location. We, in fact, spent more man-hours and money and just time creating the internet than we did physical locations that you would normally build. So anytime you see a website in this film, we've rebuilt it from scratch. You can't just go to Facebook, otherwise you'd be seeing real people, real text, all that other stuff.
Helen, as producer, can I ask you about your approach? There's an extraordinary ensemble cast in this film, and how did you sort of go about assembling them, working with Jason?
We had a really amazing casting director named John Papsadera who introduced us to the actors that we didn't know yet, and the adult actors, we got very lucky. I mean, it's Jason's vision for all of these people, and it was I think that we really have just the best cast, and I keep saying that, and I think people think that that's just a line, but I actually mean it in quite the superlative.
Kaitlyn, it's really fantastic to be able to welcome you to the festival. Last year we presented 2 of your films here, Short Term 12 and Spectacular Now. So it feels overdue. So welcome. I'd like to ask you, given that you're obviously ascending in your acting profession, what was it like for you to work with Jason as a director?
It was great. I mean, I learned so much from him. I really felt free when doing my character, and we always had discussions about what he wanted and what I felt would be great. And then working with Ansel and I, he was really great about creating those intimate moments. And also just, in general, the set was just so family-oriented, and everyone was on the same level. And I learned a lot from Jason, I really did. He's a big role model for me.
Ansel, can I ask you, Jason's already, explained that he was looking for some great younger talent for this film. Coming to it as, if you don't mind me saying, Generation Twitter, did you feel like you had a few things to teach Jason?
Yeah, he had no idea what he was doing, and I was like, listen, I know how to use Twitter. I'm going to tell you what's good. He actually really does know. I think he even has a Twitter. I think he's even verified. So follow Jason Reitman on Twitter, guys.
I got a blue check.
Yeah, I think all the kids, everyone, almost every kid in here probably has some sort of social media, whether it be Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat. I'm not even going to say, do you have Facebook? Because I know that young people don't really use Facebook anymore, at least in America. I don't know. And that's the case, though. It's crazy. But like this film kind of says, the world of social media and the internet and technology moves at an exponential rate, and it's crazy how fast it's moved, and I think that's what is so great about this movie right now. It's so current, and it came out really fast, like you guys did. I'm so glad that it's coming out right now, because it needs to come out right now, and you guys will see. It's really current, and it really captures this moment. And promise me something, the second the movie ends, don't look at your phone, or you probably try not to look at your phone during the movie, just because it's sort of like if you do, then you're not getting the point. It's not saying that technology is bad, but it is saying that, don't look at your phone all the time. It gets a little excessive sometimes,
On that note,
Wait,
I think we should start the film.
I just got a text message.
Thank you.